Hey guys, it's me, Dr. Samina Rahman, GynoGirl. I'm trying to get better at my videos, so I'm trying to do another one today. I'm channeling my inner Wonder Woman. So shout out to Veronica Beard for her collection that came out last year. Anyway, today I want to talk about an issue that comes up a lot, and I wrote about it in a blog last year when it came out in Sexual Medicine Reviews regarding the G-spot. In our research, we've learned that it's actually not a spot, it's a zone. So just to confuse matters a little bit more, let's get at it. Last year, I wrote a blog about the elusive G-spot, and it was entitled Elusive G-spot. It's real and it's fabulous. So I'm aging myself because that's a Seinfeld reference. I'll also age myself by talking about zones that Monica Geller spoke about in Friends when she was trying to explain to Chandler how to turn on his favorite partner, what she described, the 1, 2, the 3, the 4, the 5.
A 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. 4. 2. 2, 4, 7.
So, this is all about sort of erogenous zones and, arousal and pleasure. And we know that there is a huge orgasm gap, when it comes to women's ability or, chance to orgasm versus men. And many people are wondering, is this G-spot real? Is this some sort of fictitious thing created? Is it even more than a spot? It's actually, we think of it as a zone actually now in sexual medicine. So depending on the study you read, it can be anywhere from 6% to, I think the most I've read is like 18% of vagina owners can orgasm through vaginal orgasm. And then the majority, up to 40%, I think it's between 37% and 40%, depending on the study, need clitoral stimulation to orgasm. And just as a side note, we don't do enough research on this topic, so that's why a lot of the studies are conflicting based on the numbers that are studied and where it's studied and everything like that. There is actually a functional MRI study going on at Rutgers University. Maybe I can put it in the bio with Dr. Nan Wise and Dr. Barry Kumarosik, and they're looking at the female brain as an orgasm. So we're trying to do better in sexual medicine with the International Society of Study of Women's Sexual Health. We're doing a lot more, so that's great. And this came out last April in the Journal of Sexual Medicine Review. One of the godfathers of female sexual medicine, Dr. Erwin Goldstein, had written this up to talk about how the G-spot is actually more of a G-zone. Okay, this is my vulva puppet. I use it in my office all the time. And it's because we do a horrible job at educating females on their anatomy. I think that there was a study in 2020 by a Swedish company that showed that I think it was around 1/4 of women misidentified what the vagina was. It's something to be ashamed of, honestly. Like, we do a horrible job of educating kids about puberty, about women, about menopause, about everything. So we're trying to do better. Some of us are out there doing better. And basically, I use my vulva puppet in the office to demonstrate what your external genitals look like. This is my vulva puppet. Shout out to the vulvolutionary creators of this. So this is labia majora, this is labia minora, clitoral hood, clitoris, urethra, vagina. This would be your pelvic floor area. I have a separate model for that. It used to be that we thought, the G-spot or the Grafenberg spot, which kind of started back in the 50s when the German physician Ernst Grafenberg, he's actually more responsible for the modern day IUD, also identified the prostate-specific area in females that was in the anterior wall of the vagina, the top wall of the vagina here. So this is where you pee from, is where your urethra is, the top wall of the vagina. The glands around that, the periurethral glands, we think that's sort of our equivalent to our female prostate. It's PSA positive, that kind of thing. This is a picture from the Journal of Sexual Medicine Reviews from last year, kind of on a cadaveric version, showing you what we think the Grafenberg Zone is, proposed by the godfather of female sexual medicine, Dr. Erwin Goldstein, and that it's really an erotogenic zone versus like a spot, right? So trying to find like one area that we think was 2/3 of the way here in the anterior vagina is a little more hard for some partners and patients to find on their own. But the area around the clitoral crura, the cavernosa, that's the area that kind of swells up, the blood rushes there. That's, the female equivalent of the penis here. And I'm gonna do a separate thing on clitoral adhesions and issues around the clitoris separately. But, when it comes to the Grafenberg zone, we have the bulb of the clitoris, we have the clitoral crura, it gives pleasure, it gives sensation. The area around the urethra, remember this, you have the 3 holes, right? You have the vagina, the urethra, another hole. The area around the urethra is, and the periurethral tissue, that's what we think is sort of the female prostate. That's sort of responsible for pleasure and, yes, ejaculation, which is different from squirting. I'll have to do a separate video on that as well. And the urethra itself can be pleasurable, and then the anterior, the top part of the vaginal wall. For pleasure, sensation, and lubrication. So we're talking about a whole zone now of pleasure. So, you know, we don't have to just say, hey, find my G-spot, or you don't have to just look for your G-spot. You can actually, you know, take a mirror, take a look at this, take some vibratory toys or other things and try, you know, to see where your best sensation is, where you might get the most aroused. And then you can guide, you know, a partner or no partner, do it yourself. So I think, you know, it's really important to understand our anatomy, to know that, hey, it's not the spot, it's the zone. Actually, Bill Mayer, in one of his new rules last year, like made a whole bit about it. I think it's right here if we can get it. But it was that now, you know, scientists are now trying to confuse us even more. We couldn't find the spot. How are we going to find the zone? But it's actually gives you more room to work with. There's more areas that, you know, obviously the clitoris is the only organ that is for pleasure. So we should identify it. We should know it. We should make sure it's normal. Again, I'll do a separate video on that. I wanted to just talk to you about newer research. Back in, I think it was April of last year, 2022, was put in the Journal of Sexual Medicine Reviews. Have that knowledge, take that knowledge, use that knowledge, and get some pleasure out of it. All right, take care. See you on the next one. Bye.